everybody out there. Welcome to Pack Attack, the 5th episode of it. I'm going to be putting on my Leroy Butler hat today, and I feel like it's a special kind of day. As always, wearing the referee shirt because I call it like I see it. I'm a former referee, but I do keep the blazer on. I do try to keep it on. Got the Mexican flag up there because it is Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm a very proud Mexican American. So support Latinos in this community. There isn't very many of us. So please, if you know a Latino, please support him in this industry. As we love football too, man. We love football too. And I love the Packers. And there's a lot of Hispanics that love the Packers. I am an owner. I always shout off the show. So I'm going to say we. I'm going to say all that stuff really just to get underneath people's skin. But because I love the Packers, man. And that's what this show's all about. And we got a week 3 review, man. Let's break it down. I'm going to share the screen. We're going to break it down. This is the Packers stats. So let's go back to week 3. Look at the stats for the Packers. They had a good game plan. They came out early. It seemed like that was the plan. And it was kind of the plan in the playoff loss against the 49ers, but it didn't pan out. But it seems like that's something Matt LaFleur likes doing. He likes playing ahead. He has an aggressive game plan in the first half. Rodgers 27 for 35, 255, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Very rare from Rodgers, but the Bucs get him. So one team he consistently throws picks on. Todd Bowles is scheming. It seemed like it was cover 2. It's actually a robber, and that's how Aaron Rodgers got picked off. Aaron Jones, 12 carries for 36. A.J. Dillon, 12 for 32. -1 for Aaron Rodgers. So 24 rushing attempts that game, trying to control the clock a little bit. They didn't move the ball in the second half. The second half, it just kind of went down. So keep an eye out for that. Romeo Doubs, 8 catches, 73 yards, 1 touchdown, 9.1 average. Randall Cobb, 2 for 57, but 1 was a big one. Allen Lazard, 4 for 45, including that check at the line of scrimmage where nobody knew what was going on but Lazard and Rodgers. So that was pretty cool. Robert Tonyan, 6 for 37, got very active. Tyler Davis, backup tight end, 2 for 26. Aaron Jones, 3 for 11. A.J. Dillon, 2 for 6. Looking at the tackle count, my Lord, Devondre Campbell had 14 tackles. He's making a case to be Defensive Player of the Year very quietly. If this defense steps it up a little bit, Devondre doesn't miss snaps. He's got 140 tackles, etc. Rasul Douglas, 8 tackles. Nixon, 5-1. Quay Walker, 3-2. Kenny Walker, 4 and 2 sacks. How about that? The big fella had 2 sacks up there in the middle coming from the defensive tackle. Rashawn Gary, 3 tackles, 1 sack. Remember, we placed a preseason bet right here on the show for Rashawn Gary to lead the league in sacks at the end of the year. Amazing odds on that one. Adrian Amos, 3 tackles. Dean Lowry, 3 tackles. Then we got some guys with 1. We got to Tom Brady 3 times. It didn't pick him off. Took care of the ball. Allen Lazard was returning kicks. That's kind of weird. Amari Rodgers, 2 for 21. And then, Pat O'Donnell, 7 punts in this game. 5 of those inside the 20, though. Great job. Special teams is 34% of football, man. That's just how it is. Let's look at the Bucs real quick. Tom Brady, he threw it for 42 times. They only ran the ball 13 times. Leonard Fournette only ran it 12 times for 35 yards. They're not being very efficient on the ground. They came out and ran it a few times in those first couple drives, and then it was pretty much just Tom Brady pass. And it's weird because Green Bay's allowed a lot of rushing yards from people. We're going to look at that as far as what we expect the Pats to do, particularly without Mac Jones. So we'll take a look at that. Russell Gage had 12 receptions for 87 yards and a fumble, though. Rashad Perriman had a fumble. Russell Gage, if you're playing in a PPR league, he was Tom's go-to. They picked him up for a reason. I think he's going to continue to have success. Cameron Bate, 5 catches, 52 yards. Rashad Perriman, 3 for 44. Leonard Fournette, 5 for 35. So he got 35 on the ground and 35 through the air. Darden 1. Cole Beasley had 3 catches, but just for 12 yards. Not bad since he's only was at practice for 3 days. Defensively, it was all Mike Edwards. He had 13 tackles. The midfield had 6. Jamal Dean, 6. Levante David, 7. Shaq Barrett, 5. Devin White, 5. Only sack came from Logan Hall on the defensive end, so keep that in mind. Then Logan Ryan had an interception against Aaron Rodgers. So that was it for that game. It was a good game. Like I've told people over and over and over again, that was the last all-decades quarterback battle you're going to see. What's up, Mace? Thanks for hopping in, bro. Thanks for hopping in. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's going to be the last all-decade quarterback matchup you're going to get to see for till 2040, because I honestly think Aaron Rodgers is probably going to be an all-decade quarterback this year. particularly if they can just get to a Super Bowl. Like if he just gets to a Super Bowl on top of his 2 MVPs, that means another there's two all-decade quarterbacks per decade, right? And that's why we had Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers play. And this Battle of the Bays, I think, is a very significant game. The media was hyping it. Nobody even mentioned the all-decade thing. This was all, Aaron Rodgers needs this for his legacy. He's got to have this win because Tom Brady's got all the wins. I don't know why it's so difficult for people to remember that Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl, was the best player in that Super Bowl, was the MVP in that Super Bowl, made throws that are unreal that nobody talks about in a Super Bowl. It's like Aaron Rodgers is just a perennial playoff loser in people's mind when he's won more Super Bowls than, probably 20-something, 26 starting quarterbacks, 27 starting quarterbacks. There's not too many quarterbacks out there that have won as many Super Bowls as Aaron Rodgers, all right, or has as many MVPs as Aaron Rodgers, all right. Let's just call a spade a spade. He's a real easy target for the media because he's not like all those suits and tie guys and all the company men. That's not who he is. That's Tom Brady. That's who Tom Brady is. Tom Brady's a company guy. Tom Brady wears a TV hat, has his own brand, says all the right things, married to the supermodel. That was the battle of this. Aaron Rodgers is, I'm going to tell you my opinion, whether you like it or not kind of person, which I've always respected. I think that is kind of being authentic and being real to yourself. All right, but enough about that. It was an all-decade quarterback battle. Like I said, I don't think there's going to be, for somebody to outdo Aaron Rodgers, they're going to have to win at least 3 MVPs. There's only 7 more years, all right? 2 quarterbacks have to win it. So if 2 quarterbacks are going to pass him, 2 quarterbacks are going to have to win 3 MVPs. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning. Those are the only ones that have won 3 or more MVPs. Maybe Tom Brady. I can't keep cap on his stats. But the whole point is there's only been 3 quarterbacks to do it in the history of the NFL. To expect 2 quarterbacks to do that in a decade, I don't think that's going to happen. So Aaron Rodgers is probably going to be a 2020s all-decade QB, which means he won't be playing in 2030. So that means we won't get a single 2030s all-decade matchup. And you'll have to wait for the all-decade quarterbacks of 2030 to match up in 2040 if you're lucky. That was my whole point. It's a very special game, a very, very special game moving forward. And just keep in mind with that, okay? I do want to say, we got the Patriots coming to town. They look bad. They don't look good at all. Mac Jones is hurt. They got some defensive woes that they're not looking so great on, but they're not to be taken lightly. I'll tell you that. It's Bill Belichick, and we never take them lightly. Let's go look at some of their rankings right now. They've run 50 plays for 1,000 yards. Their opponents have won more plays but have less yards. Let's see. Oh, no. Points forced. Excuse me. 50 points by the Patriots. They've ran 183 plays. And I'm using – excuse me. Let me pull this back up for you. I'm using Pro Football Reference here just to get some general stats in. They have 747 passing yards. They've been shutting down the opponents on the passing yards, but they've given up 6 touchdown passes through the air. Look for Aaron Rodgers to capitalize in that moment. They've thrown 5 picks. That's not going to be as relevant. They've rushed it 81 times for 347 yards. That's about 4.3 average. That's pretty good. 4 touchdowns on the ground. Not that many penalties, 13. That's a good disciplined team over there. So for what it's worth, they got that going for them. They were able to score 7, 17, 26 against the Baltimore Ravens. They got that win against Pittsburgh by only putting up 17 points. Like I said, they've increased their passing yards, 193, 252, 302. That's not bad. They've increased their total yards, and they've increased the rushing yards. So the yardage has gone up for them every time. They're just not stopping too many offenses. The Dolphins have got 307 yards against them. The Baltimore Ravens put up 394. Of course, that's Lamar's good week. And a lot of that, they've been giving up more yards on the ground each week. Lamar was a big part of that on the 188 last week right here. But then passing yards, they've been giving up under 250 a week, which is pretty darn good. So I'm not sure that Aaron Rodgers will be maybe getting the most yards with Dobbs out there, but the red zone, the touchdowns, it just shows the difference. You can't be giving up those kind of passing. It means they're not doing great red zone. They're not doing great red zone defense in this aspect of it. All right. This game is at Green Bay. Another afternoon time slot. It's the first afternoon time slot for the Patriots. I don't know that the Packers have had one time slot at 11. It feels like every game's been at an odd time for me. So when you look at those, their strength, like I said, we kind of pointed out their weaknesses: red zone defense against the pass, steadily giving up more rushing yards per game. They played the Dolphins and the Steelers. He didn't really have a good running back. Lo and behold, Lamar comes in and really rips them up. So there's a good chance for A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones this week when we take a look at that as well. When we get back just to talk to it a little bit, the Packers are going to be – the NFC looks pretty wide open. Like things kind of set themselves up for them right then and there. With the way the NFC East is going, they got the win over Tampa Bay. Their losses against Minnesota. The NFC North was actually kind of competitive. It's always more competitive than people think. But 3 teams at 2-1, including the Chicago Bears, who have a chance to go to 3-1 against the Giants this week. So the Packers have got to stay on pace. The Vikings are playing in London, so that gives an opportunity for the Packers to maybe take a game up. But if they lose, they could go to last place in the North just like that. This is a very interesting division, but everything seems kind of wide open with the NFC South being in a state of not good or confusion or whatever you want to say. NFC East, it's all Eagles. I don't really see anybody that can really threaten the Cowboys or the Packers. The Cowboys look decent at times. Not worried about the Giants at all. And then the NFC West, 49ers playing the Rams, going to beat each other up. Seahawks 1-2. Cardinals, I still can't figure out exactly who they are. Seems like if it's not Kyler Murray doing something, it's all there. So the NFC is wide open for the Packers right now. The Philadelphia Eagles look head and shoulders above basically anybody in the NFL at the moment, but that doesn't mean that they're going to continue to look that way all game. They kind of started off with a favorable schedule, but that's neither here nor there. They're taking care of the business. They're taking care of who's in front of them, so that's all you can really ask for out of a team. You can't worry about too many hypothetical situations. The truth is you just got to go out there and play, and the Eagles have done that. And they got a matchup against the Jaguars, which I'm thinking will be a very good matchup. But with the London game, we only have 3 games in the afternoon slot. So odds are we're going to get full attention on Green Bay, even if you're watching Red Zone. With only those 3 games, it's going to be quite difficult to get all those plays in, all right? Let's take a look real quick at some of the betting lines. We're going to look at that real quick. Well, let's look at the stats before we look at the bets. Huh? How about that? 61 first downs. First downs, 24. 24 of them are rushing. 34 of them are passing 3 by penalty because we have Aaron Rodgers. Third down conversion, it's always a problem with Green Bay. Since I've really started paying attention to stats more, quit watching as a fan the past 13 years. It was a problem for Mike McCarthy. It's a problem for Matt LaFleur just because third downs are hard. We go look at the opponents. They've been doing pretty good on third down, getting off the field, 7 for 31, but 14 for 33, not even getting that 50% on third down. You just don't like seeing that. 1,000 total yards on offense, 188 plays on the offensive side of the ball, 381 rushing yards total, 4.7 average we talked about. Total passing yards, 749. Aaron Rodgers is off to a great start, despite what anybody says. He's averaging over 200 yards a game passing. You can't ask for much more than that. 72 for 99, 7.6 for pass. He's been sacked 8 times, but, we got Jenkins back. I told you guys week 2. That's what we needed. He's came back and it's really solidified that offensive line. Bakhtiari got some snaps in, rotating in and out. Don't know how I feel about that. I like continuity, but I guess that knee must have been really, really bad. That's what it's telling you. Mason Crosby's a perfect 2 for 2 on the field goals. Got to love that. Touchdowns, 6 touchdowns. They've held the opponents to 49 points. Most of 49 first downs. 7 through 31 on third down, 2 for 3 on third down. Total offensive yards, we've been up about 908 yards, 161 plays, so not as much as us. The defense is doing great. The defense looks great to me. 340 rushing yards, so not a lot. It's just Chicago kind of saw that they could run against the Packers and just kind of did it. That's really where most of those rushing yards are coming from because Cook didn't get a whole lot of yards. Last week, Fournette, I just read you his rushing yards. He didn't hardly get anything. Total pass yards, 568. So the defense is holding down. We got to look at Jair Alexander and that groin. I kind of hope they just sit him. Let's not get it in a worse situation. We don't really need him for the Pats. So let's get out of there. 7 sacks against. We've given up 6 for 6 field goals because our defense tightens down. And then only 4 touchdowns. So you got to love it. You got to love it. Got to love it. We're not winning the turnover battle right now. We're going to have to win big plays. But let's go take a look right here at the betting. I don't know if you can see it, but we're going to click on it, make it a little bigger. The line is at, I'll give it a second so you guys can see it loading up. This is DraftKings. Keep in mind if you're betting, I use multiple books. If you can get a 20-point difference, I mean, $20 is $20, right? You're going to want those swings, and you can find a 20 scale difference. But this is on DraftKings. It is at 9.5 point spread. They've kept it pretty consistent. 40 points on the over/under. Green Bay at plus 370. Pats at plus 370. Packers at negative 460. I saw that at negative 400 earlier in the week. It's hard to get it. If you play with a lot of bonuses, if you play on those same game things and all that kind of stuff, they're not going to give you negative 460 odds. Okay, you're not probably going to be able to click that. We don't have a lot of betting on the line. Let's just take a look at what we do have. A lot of game lines. We do have some player props. Let's take a look here. Aaron Rodgers pass yards 232.5. It's about his average. I do expect them to move the ball on the ground. So let's take a look at that. Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns. It's a negative 155. I kind of like that as far as the best I've seen. Aaron Rodgers rushing yards, 4.5 yards. I don't know if they're going to generate pressure with Judon. If they do, he could get flushed out. Aaron Rodgers isn't scrambling too much. So receiving yards, Allen Lazard, 36.5. Robert Tonyan, 25.5. First half, 5.5 spread on the Patriots. That's a pretty big spread. And it just breaks down the quarters. I kind of stay away from those. Those are, a guessing game. Patriots over 1.5 touchdowns is at negative 110. Packers total team touchdowns over 2.5, negative 175. Under at plus 135. They're going to have to play a great defensive game. I don't know if they can keep 3 touchdowns from happening against Aaron Rodgers, though. Team totals, I stay away from those kind of how many first downs. They're not going to really do that. Score method, not really going to do that either. So not a whole lot out there, but I do feel good about it. What's the weekly specials? Harrison Jones, 200-plus rushing yards and 2+ rushing touchdowns. I just don't see the touchdowns there. The yardage could be there. Man, we got some pretty good other props, though. Let's take a look at some of these. Because, just Allen Lazard, I was wondering. Because you guys know I'm a tackle prop king. That's who I claim to be. That's who I am. Right now, just kicking props. Not that big of a deal. Crosby over 1.5. Field goals made, negative 135. Nick Folk over 1.5 field goals made, plus 130. We just talked about how Green Bay shuts down around the red zone. They shut teams down. They don't get as many touchdowns, but they're giving up field goals. Could be a pretty interesting angle right there. 1.5 field goals for Nick Folk. Let's just see. And then, we're not going to have any more. I don't do the squares too much. It's fun if you want to do it. Winning margin, I stay away from. You can pick the game parlay. Green Bay Packers over and first half total points over 20.5. First half spread. I'm staying away from first half parlays. It's just not my thing. So there you have it. Keep it coming back for the props, but I do feel good about it. And keep in mind, guys, whenever we get ready to go, you just want to subscribe for this stuff right here. I got you, man, right there. More content like this on YouTube. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button for me on Patreon. And I'm always looking for more work. If you guys want to hop on here, you want to collaborate some, I think it's all worth it. I enjoy doing this kind of stuff I love watching film, and, I watch a lot of film on the Packers. NFL Plus has been kind of giving me a little bit of trouble lately. I hate computer automated stuff. I can't talk to a person, but I need to talk to a person. Computers are like, well, here's the problems. It's like, here's the problem. Here's how you fix it. It just doesn't work. Life's more dynamic than that. Computers can't handle dynamic, complex issues such as I've already paid for this. Here's the proof for it. Make it work. That doesn't work for them. But we're going to keep breaking down film. Pack Attack is all about the Packers. As you know, weekly basis, I bet on the Packers. I watch a lot of film on the Packers. I'm a lifelong fan. Now you can see all the Packers stuff up there. Even got my daughter's first cheerleading suit up there. Shout out to my beautiful daughter. She's a Packer fan too. Man. So this is what we're all about right here. But there's a link right there. You can copy it. Go to the YouTube. Go sign up for the Patreon. IDP_Iggy on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. We have Jailhouse Bets on TikTok. A lot of times there'll be something good in there for everybody as well. Let's come on. Encourage all Packers fans. Come on, let's talk this show. I can only talk about 23, 24 minutes breaking down the thing. I don't want to just sit here and read off numbers. I don't ever want to be one of those shows where I just read off numbers to you. Like, you can go look up a lot of these numbers yourself. The opinion on the fact is that I expect rushing from both teams. I expect Aaron Rodgers to put in the ball in the end zone via passing with Romeo Doubs, with Randall Cobb, with Alan Lazard. They might match up Tunyon some. He could create some matchups. It looks like he's getting back into full swing. Looks like Rodgers is trusting him. Looks like he's getting separation on his routes, which is very important for a tight end because the tight end's a big guy. Back in the day, quarterback got in trouble whenever, I'm talking in the 90s, whenever it was okay to hit a quarterback 2 or 3 seconds after he released the ball. That was fine, okay? So they would look for their tight end because they knew they were about to get hit. They knew they were about to be in crunch time. And when you look at that, who was there, the tight end, he didn't need a lot of separation. They're big guys. Robert Tunyon is getting separation. Let's keep an eye on that going forward. So we like those. There's potential for the Patriots to run, but if they're down, they're going to have to pass, okay? And if we anticipate the fast start that the Packers like to do, get on that fast start, get the Patriots behind, kind of run the ball, eat the clock. It was their game plan for Tampa Bay. It worked. It seems like Matt LaFleur has a lot of confidence in this ability in his defense to stop teams from scoring as well. So it looks like that's kind of their philosophy in the first 3 weeks. Let's keep a look at it. We'll see how they do against the Patriots in an afternoon slot game. We don't have too many 11 o'clock slot games. Like I said, there's only 3. So as a Packers fan, there should be a way, no matter where you are in the country, to watch this game. I'll be watching this game. If you ever have any questions about Packers in your lineups, Packers betting lines, anything specifically about that, hit me up, man. Hit me up because I really enjoy talking Packers, man. I love talking football. I love talking fantasy. I love talking betting. And above all, I love the Green Bay Packers, man. That's just who I am. All right. Well, I really appreciate everybody being on this show. Going to wrap it up. Like I said, it's always about 25 minutes. If you're catching it after, please subscribe. Please hit up me on any of the social medias. Let's hang out, man. I'm not somebody that ignores somebody on social media. That I've never been that way my entire life. If you want to hang out, I want to hang out with you. All right. So let's make that happen. Thank you for being a part of the show. We'll be back next week, man. This is episode 5, Pack Attack, here with IDP Iggy, man. You have a wonderful day. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. Here you go.